Episode 1 of the Osu-cast. Boom. What's happening now, Jordan?
What's happening, man?
What's a crack wee?
Not a lot, hey. Just chilling, killing.
Hi everybody, it's my best mate Jordan here. I brought him on so he can talk about himself, talk about his music and what he's got going on with his life now at the minute. And we've been best mates for years, like, so it's only made sense for him to be the first man to come on this podcast here. So tell me a bit about yourself, Jordan, for all the people listening and the audience and what's going on.
Well, as you said, we've been best friends now since, like, I'd say maybe around 2011, 2012. I'm a
man.
you're right, man. I'm a DJ, producer, shy talker. What else? I just passed my music degree, whatever. Was living in Manchester for a couple of years, and I've been back since COVID started and lockdown fucked everybody. So it's good to be on the first episode, man. Thank you for having
me your story.
Exactly. You already know it, like, but let the people know.
Oh, what?
Give the people what they want.
It's been shite, lads. It's been shite for us all.
It's like things are just kind of starting to kind of come on a wee bit of normality again, and things are it's a wee bit weird. Like, I just had my first actual gig in a bar since, like,
I really know how that go the other night, hey? I didn't
it
even
went
get
good.
the ass to eat, man.
It went good, man. It went fucking very good. Hey, the Colin Eastwood ended up being their fucking politician,
What?
and it's
happen
his girlfriend or something that owns the Central, and she wanted to come up to. It's like a wee restaurant place up above it now, so she wanted to come, and everybody was loving it. It was mad because there wasn't enough tables for the amount of people.
I've seen that in people's Snapchats and all on their socials, man. Everybody was like sitting down.
It was like bums and seats kind of deal, which was weird. But, like, I wanted to kind of play like background music, but not too background music-y, because when I started playing tunes, everybody was just loving it. You could just tell that people hadn't heard tunes being played loudly, literally, man.
Just start roaring out of them.
You could just tell that people hadn't heard tunes in a bar for ages, and it was lethal, like.
Oh,
but
what, man, I'm reason I wasn't even there too. I had the wine that night, or I would have came up, hey, but I seen it there. Everybody looked fucking like they were enjoying themselves anyway for days, because it was on everybody's Snapchat, and like there's a good few people there too. I seen loads of people there. I was surprised.
It was great thing, man. But as you say, man, daddy duties come first, like.
You're lucky, but you're one of the few DJs anyway. Lately, like, it's got to play. You know what I mean?
Aye, man, it's
not many at
fortunate, like, but I want to get things back into the swing of things. 'Cause as you know, like, myself and Tyrell and a couple of other friends, Sean and Steve, we kind of the last couple of years since I left school and shit like that would have just been trying to kind of run events and put on nights across the city, and then COVID hit, and like we were actually one of the last events in Derry they'd probably do a night, because our last night was on the 22nd of February, 2020.
Was it Champagne?
Champagne.
Was it Champagne,
Asled's second birthday.
That's mad.
And then after that, it's just been
when
nothing.
Did you say
it's
it
been
was
quiet.
22nd?
22nd.
Oh.
And it was the 22nd of February, and we went under lockdown on the 22nd of March.
What year was this? 2020?
Last year, 2020.
That's mad, there, they think, man. Just time's flying by. That's crazy to go. That's crazy. Like, how did you get started in music and DJing and all?
So music, like, I got started in music. It was the day that we were on a park, like Eateroom Park, man. That's the day I consider getting started in music. Whenever we were like 13, and I was just running around. We were both running around, man. Two chubby wee fuckers, like. And a load of boys from Gilla, like the place where we're from in Derry, started calling me Biggie. And I was like, who's Biggie? Who's Biggie? You know what I mean? And then I'll never forget it. I knocked over to your house, and you were listening to the XX and Juicy. And I just heard it in the background. And you came down to the door, you were putting your shoes on. You were all, that's you there. I was all, what do you mean? You're all, there's Biggie. And I was all, they were all, literally, you're all such a tune that they were telling you to rap. So I went and started learning the words to Juicy. So I was like, the next time these fuckers ask me to rap Juicy, I'm going to fucking come up and I'm going to rap Juicy. And I was when I started learning how to rap.
You started rapping proper young then too, didn't you?
When I was like 13, man, a chubby nigga on the scene, like, you know what I mean?
man.
So I started rapping for men, and then I just kind of started, as we started smoking weed and all, man, and it came in hand with fucking old school rap. And then when I went into school, I just took a kind of interest in music from then, because I was like, oh, this is fun, you know what I mean? And then I wanted to do GCSE music, and I needed to play an instrument, and I wasn't for playing guitar or piano.
That's when you started DJing then, wasn't it?
Literally, my music teacher said that they kind of go on the GCSE music, the closest instrument that would be and that kind of category with like rapping would be DJing. And so I started DJing, and then just as nearly everybody in Derry kind of grows up, dance music, you kind of find dance music, and
Were they all good school? Were you DJing like as an instrument? Like were they all fine?
They didn't even know they didn't really know how to take it, man. To be honest with you, they were kind of like, because in school all we were learning about was like Beethoven and like like we weren't learning about modern musicians or like the way the modern
trained,
it was a
classic music
like
and
rock, Irish folk music and
was it all
20th
Italian
century
words and all?
20th century music like staccato and pizzicato and all,
crazy
and I
words.
didn't even whenever I went on the GCSE music, I didn't care about that. Like I used to skip my classes, going on the lunch and just going on the room, the DJ room, where the decks were, and it was like behind my music classroom, and there was a window to where like my music teacher could just like see in, and I just used to stay in the room the whole time. And she thought that I was in a lesson, but I was just skipping class and just
sitting there chill, just not
nowadays,
even doing anything.
whenever I'm actually trying to produce music, I wish I had a fucking listen, because I wish I had a better knowledge of the composition and stuff, and it would have helped out. But and long story short, like that's how I got on the music, was through rapping, and then I found DJing. So what about yourself? How did you get on the music?
Oh, for you, man. You know what I mean? Like how do I even start it? Hey, like what you said, just sitting in parks and all, listening to music, just downloading music and all, torrent music. Like, that was a big part of me being a child, just torrent music and all, and fucking getting the best tunes and showing people music and all. I mean, all listening to this here, look what I got my hands on and all, and like my Uncle Brian too. My Uncle Brian was a big part of music, like, because he's always listening to different types of music, and he came up with some crazy types of genres. They showed me like dubstep and garage, and a lot of electronic music I first listened to came from Brian, like, because he was showing me crazy stuff I've never heard before, and that's why it intrigued me so much. But then when me and you were friends then, and you started DJing and all, like, I took a liking to it. But what age were you when you first started DJing? You were like 14, weren't you?
14, 15.
So I didn't start DJing until I was like 16. So you were DJing for years before, like about 2-3 years before me. But then it was when I was in JobLink, and I got free out of school. I was in JobLink then, and our space got opened below JobLink, a youth centre, and they had a pair of decks in there, and you were in there playing them one day, and I came in and seen you playing them, and I seen Christian then. I remember Christian was trying to play them too, and he picked them up quicker than I did, and I was like, oh, what, I want to be able to do this, like, if Christian can do it. No, I was like, oh, give me a go, use decks here, boys, no. And I was in there with Christian then all the time. Me and Christian, we just sitting playing the decks flat out, like we were meant to be in class, and like we just weren't in class, we were just in there playing decks, and they would always have to come down, no. Send we Angie down from Rutledge, like, God bless her soul, she's dead now, like, you know what I mean, but they just send her down all the time, and she would come down, chase me around the town, no, get back up to class, and all, you shouldn't be down here doing that and doing this and all. And that's how I ended up getting on the DJing then, big time, like, just, it was mostly your influence, but because when you would come down, I was still useless at DJing though, but you would show me how to mix in, and I would sit and watch you and get fascinated. It was crazy, because I was so bad at mixing, like, I was trying to mix and all, and I would just, like, enjoy playing with the effects more than anything, you know, just using the echo and the filter and all, and just pure stupid things, but I didn't know how to actually DJ and loop and all, and I was doing my head on for years. But then I remember the switch came on then in Rutledge, when I was just like, I want to go do music now, and I left for, like, I was meant to do 2 years in Rutledge, but instead of doing 2 years, I asked them could I do it in one. Then they said aye, so I got my qualifications and went to tech in, and boom, to haven't looked back, man. It's just been music up a left, DJing, and running nights with you, oscillate, trying to rap, trying to produce music. No, just been an experience, man, literally. That's how this podcast is happening now, you know, because of the whole experience. Like, so I want to talk about it all, and I want it to grow and get even bigger, and you know how it is, man. You know how it is.
Reach on as many avenues as you can. It's weird, like, it's just kind of what, like, it, for me, really, I was in class whenever I was in that, because, like, when we first became friends, like, the kind of music that we were listening to, man, whenever we were like 11, 12, even 13, like Skrillex and like dubstep and all this, like, it was a bit mad, hey, to be honest. Like, thinking back, the taste of music that I have now, I still love rap, but like in terms of dance music, like the stuff that I would listen to back then, now it would just call it absolute cheese. Like nearly crazy, like EDM would be the tagline that you have for it. But like, it was through Liam Doherty, and it's somebody we both know through school. Like, and I just remember sitting in St. Columb's Park saying like, "Oh, house is shite, trance is shite, techno shite," and all. And then he showed me a tune that was Christian Nielsen, "Do You Mind?" And then from then, I know why I was just like, "Oh,
bad boy tune.
house music good," like, you know what I mean? And then Jika Jika had a massive part to play with too. If it hadn't been for Jika Jika, I probably wouldn't have had like as big an influence for dance music like at all. Like even though Northern Ireland and people like everybody's uncle was at the point on, and everybody like it's just kind of like nearly like a tradition for Northern Ireland has just got a big massive dance music scene since the 90s because it's what brought people together after like the troubles and stuff. But listening to like techno and house and like my friends, my older friends, like going to like nights like Alan Fitzpatrick and me being like, oh, what is this? What's
Them
this music? Like,
Jigas
you know
were
what I mean? And
crazy
then
back in the
finding
day.
out that like that was the crack, and like there's nothing better than sneaking on there an illegal rave in, and then even in my DJing classes, like the first CDs that I got burnt, the DJ with were all, it was like Biggie, Jay-Z, like 99 Problems and all that kind of crack. And then I just turned around to myself, I was like, fuck that, I want to play techno, like, you know what I mean? And it's from there, and it
You
was
needed
just
the larynges. You needed to get some music
that's
under the
really,
belt.
and then it was just a matter of time because Ryan Campbell was my DJing partner, and then because it was his dad that ran Missons, then that's how we ended up getting like a shot at actually playing in front of a crowd, even though we were
For
like
days, man. Shout out to big Ryan Campbell.
know,
Hey,
aye.
what's his DJ name now? Rank, isn't it?
rank guy.
RANC. Look him up on SoundCloud. He's got plenty of tunes, heavy bangers, techno. If that's what you're into, like, go look him up. That
Yes,
man
sir.
there, if it wasn't for him and his dad and all, we wouldn't have got opportunities when we were really young, like 100%. And that's what leading on to what I was going to ask you. What was it like DJing at a young age and all, and throwing
was
parties
lethal,
and being,
man,
being a part of these events?
It was lethal. Like it was mad, man. Like in hindsight, because like even as I say, like being in school and growing up and around Derry as a teenager, it's a small town, so everybody kind of knows each other, and everybody like in the kind of niches and cliques or whatever, like social groups, whatever you want to call it, they all kind of go to the same place, and the places that we never actually got to go to, but the places that my friends used to tell me about, places like the Basement and like all like Jack's Bar and all these kind of clubs that they're
Just always
a lot of them
we
don't
must
even
be a hair, literally.
literally, man, like a lot of them, like even Missings, a lot of them don't exist. Sandino's, I'd say, is probably the only place that really still standing or still operating that actually people would have went to, but through like Missings and all that kind of crack, and like knowing that people were going out at a young age, it was always a thing like to see whose ID could you get to try and sneak on there night, and then being able to DJ at a young age, and like mostly even now most of the nights that I would have went to, like I find it weird sometimes not playing, not to sound like a dick, but not playing at events like and actually
No, I know
having
what
to
you
just
mean,
kind
man.
of go to them like
Especially if that's what you do, because it's your thing, man. You run nights and you be a part of them for so long, and when you just show up to them, man, and you sort of feel empty because it's not your place. You know what I mean? It's somebody else's night, but you're that used to being in the environment, and you know what I mean, trying to get things going on, trying to get people in the door. I understand 100%, man. It's just what it is, hey. It actually is. And I'm sure other promoters and DJs probably feel the same when they go to watch other people DJ and all. Because you get the people that just sit there and critique and they listen to DJs and be, oh, he's shite and oh, he can't mix and all. And you get them boys and like in that 4-4 group a while back there, like some German girl was getting a tight online. So she had like 23,000 views on a video. And all these people were just hitting on her because she couldn't mix apparently, and they were all jealous, just I reckon, because she was playing at big festivals before lockdown, and she's on that. I can't even mind what the
Horror.
name of the show. Horror. Aye, she was on that horror show, and they're all trying to say that like horror's bringing on bad talent and all, and this and that. But it just seems like people are salty, like, you know what I mean. Like if you think she's that bad at DJing, just don't say it, like, you know what I mean. Just keep that to yourself.
it's just the power of social media these days,
I
but
know,
man, like
man.
in fairness, but like especially from DJing at a young age, like at an age before I was even legal to be on the places that I was playing on, which is like really fun. Like first time I played in Kelly's, I was I was
Yeah,
17.
you were like 17
I was
now.
17, and like the first time I played for Keltronic and stuff too. I was 17, but I just kind of kept it under wraps. I was like,
You
I just didn't say anything. Even the
but
first
you-
time I played in Sugar.
You looked older too, but man, you were about hairy bastard.
Man,
so you
people
were when you
thought
were
I
like
was a
17.
different fucking person. People thought I was Ashley Doherty, man. The first time I went to play in Sugar, I walked up and the bouncer looked at me. I was like, oh, I'm playing on here because I'd tried to get in the
Yeah,
Sugar
boys are all
before.
sound eye, wee man,
Literally,
dog,
I
get
tried
the
to get in the
fuck.
Sugar before, and the bouncers were like, no, it's not you on your ID. But this time I was playing, so I was like, fuck that. I'm getting in here. I'm being paid to get in here. So, like, I went up and the pointer looked at me and was like, "You're barred from here. You not? No, we had a couple of problems with you." And I was like, "No, wasn't me. I've never been in here in my life," and I literally hadn't. And then I went up, got to the smoking terrace at Sugar, and the manager came up to me. I was like, "What's happening? I'm playing on here," and he was like, "Oh, I mean, you had a run on the last time you were here, buddy." And I was all, "That wasn't me," and it was big Ashley Doherty. Big shout out to Ashley Doherty.
For that,
It's
shout out
fucking
to Ashley.
bigger twin, like. He was like, "Oh, so that's you, that's you," and I was like, "It's not me, lad. I swear to God, it's not me." Pulled up a picture of me and Ashley, and he just looked at me and was like, "I'm so sorry, lad. I'm so sorry, lad." You know what I mean? I was like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Ain't many Negroes around Derry, like, you know what I mean?"
No, I fuck, man. It's literally picking you out. It happened to me too. Well, not like out there, like on Sugar. One day I was DJing and like I used to dress pure weird, man. When I was younger. I used to be just wearing Adidas jackets up on the left, man. I always had 2 Adidas jackets on, always. And like I was going out to get a smoke, hey, and I was like standing out the front of Sugar, and I went to walk back in. I was only 17 at the time, hey, and I was going back in. The bouncer just stopped me and was all, "Do you have ID and all?" And it's not. I was on playing. He was like, "I don't believe you and all." And he didn't believe me. Sure, it was not you. Did you not see me in the hallway and he wasn't going to let me in? You had to turn around to the bouncer and be, "Oh, aye, he's playing." No, not mine. I was going mad at the bouncer at the front of Sugar. You might not remember. It's like,
I can't remember.
man, I was going nuts at the bouncer, man. I was about to start a fight. Like, I was like, the bouncer was just having none of it. He wasn't going to let me back in, no. And you had to be, "Oh, no, he's playing and all." And he knew you. And he was, "Oh, no, that's sweet. No, that's sweet going on, no." But I was just sit there, like, I was going mad. I was going
I
to
feel like I vaguely remember. What was the first time you played in Sugar?
with Jared Clark.
Was it?
Shout out to Jared Clark. By Jared C. He
What?
brought me to play the night before you and Brendan Tracy at House U.
Oh, I can vaguely remember it. Hey, literally vaguely
Just
remember.
came out of nowhere, so that he just contacted me and fair play these or
I
whatever.
do remember it now. Hey, fuck.
He just contacted me,
See,
man,
it's mad,
randomly.
man. That's like fucking.
I was only like 16 or 17 at the time. I was
4 or
well
5
buzzed.
years
Like, I was
ago.
all, "What?" I didn't even think I was ever on Sugar. He was, you know what I mean? I was just all sound. I'll come straight to Sugar now, no sweat, lad. Like, there wasn't many people there, like, but it was still an experience. Hey, I enjoyed it. Hey, it was good crack. See when you were like running these, like being a part of these nights and all, like at a young age, did it teach you any skills? Like, did you would use now, like, you know what I mean? Did you learn anything from it, like, do you reckon? Like, from doing all that at a young age? Do you feel like you learn any essential skills that you'll keep for
Whoa.
life?
I don't know. Like that's a good question because it's not something I've ever really kind of thought about. It's more like if I was nearly like a fucking CV type of shit, like problem solving, you know, in like different special cases, like when something's going wrong on the night, you just kind of have to work out a way to kind of make things work. Well, social media skills, I would say definitely, and like they are kind of life skills now, like promotion and stuff like that. No one.
It's all called marketing. now,
Marketing,
like,
man,
you know what I
marketing.
mean?
That's the
Media
thing. Like
marketing,
social
all
media
this,
and marketing, and like it kind of teaches you like we weren't the most successful club night in Derry by a fucking long mile, but we had some good nights. You know what I mean? Like
For days, we had some lethal parties, man. So
exactly, man.
we're only
It's-
21 too, like, you know
exactly.
what I mean?
That's another thing about doing it from such a young age, man. You think that in a couple by doing it after a couple of years, like it's just hard to keep in mind. Like Jika Jika, which is definitely Derry's biggest club night, if not Keltronic. Like they've been running now how many years? Like I don't even know. I feel like whenever we
Did
first
they not have
started
like
going.
a 12-year party anniversary or something?
I
like
think
that
it was
there,
a
wasn't
15-year anniversary. I feel like it was a 15-year anniversary whenever we.
Shout out to Jika too. We're sorry, we don't even
Definitely.
know how long he's been going. Like, you know what I mean? He's given us loads of opportunities too. Shout out to
Probably
Stephen
weren't
Porter
even-
and James Crossan. Like, but he's been going too long. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're saying, there's a big. I'm gonna find this out now. But what are we saying there?
I'm pretty sure whenever we started going, because every Christmas or so they have like the anniversary parties, their birthday parties. They have 3 parties for the birthday, and they're normally like lethal, just spread out across like the kind of Christmas season. And like Christmas is always such a good time in Derry, especially well it was anyways. Hopefully we can get back to that again maybe this year. Fingers crossed, big time. But like just around Christmas, there's just so many different events going on, and like especially kind of because as I was saying, it's such a small town mentality. You're just kind of trying to like like just it was just a nightmare trying to run nights
Oh, was it
along
not,
with
man?
about 10 other club nights
I
on
know
Derry.
there's not that
And,
many people in the town there, but he's fighting to try to get people into the bars and all. Like, it's just a whole handle, and you've people making snide comments back and forth with each other on social media and all, and just stupid. Oh, what? Hey,
it was
it was
just
good. It was good crack, like, you know what I mean, but
great crack, man. It's something like maybe even took for granted at the time, but like as soon as things are starting to get back to normal, so like as I was saying, hopefully we can get back to round the like Jika Jika Festival's coming up next month on the 28th of August. Playing at that, and I'm really looking forward to it because like it's just a festival they happen in Derry. Like Stendhal happened at the weekend there, and like that apparently went well. Like you're looking at the fucking
Stendhal
TV.
hardly happened this weekend, did it?
Man, Stendhal was the
You're
weekend.
lying.
I
What the?
swear.
That's mad. I didn't even know that.
I don't
man.
know if people were camping at it, like, but it definitely happened. Like, the only DJs that I know who were actually playing at it was Sophia. Shout out to Sophia. They're a crowd that run underground raves. With probably the hairiest music you'll ever hear in your life. And Buncrana and around various locations.
Some of the craziest raves you'll be to too if you're on that kind of thing. Definitely look up their Facebook page or their socials and check them out because Sophia have thrown some mad raves, and they're not very open about their raves sometimes too. So you be better following them. Know what I mean? Because sometimes they throw some crazy parties. So definitely keep in touch with Sophia because they're a special bunch. They love hard techno too. A hard techno.
Borderline donk, I call it.
That's
It's not
crazy.
too mad for me, like, but it's definitely something to check out, like, if you're around it. Like,
I'll
you
stop,
know.
man. I know loads of people, man, that's like never even went to something like that before, and they told me like I went to that Sophia rave and all, and I was mad though. They were like, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Like that's what you get when you go down to Emmons, like, you know what I mean? They know what they do it, like they're hardcore.
There's another crowd, remember Anactech?
Aye.
We met in Belfast Underground, shout out the Illegal Swede and Lord Backlash.
Lord Backlash, the man
the meat
himself.
grinder,
Like.
man. We were in Belfast Underground Records one day recording a set, and these guys, they came on, they were on the hour after us, and one of them was talking. They said, "Get a crowd from Belfast, like." And he was saying to me and Tyrell, he was like, "Oh, I've got this sound system. It's called the meat grinder." And always, he was
Blow your
all,
fucking head off,
all,
man.
you know why it's called the meat grinder? And all why he was all, "Cause you stick your head on it and get fucking minced and all." It's just like fucking. But like, I'm pretty sure they're still doing free parties. They do free parties in mad locations as well. Like, but it's just
What's their night again called?
I don't even know if Anactech still running because they had like a whole shit show when I think they were telling this us blah blah blah. They were telling us whenever we were up there that there's a crowd running around Belfast. They were throwing like illegal parties as well.
Aye.
But the thing that Anactech were pushing was that they were throwing parties, but they were always like cleaning up after like wherever it was. Like they weren't
And they
dickheads
were
basically.
respecting their
And then
venues and areas.
someone threw a party and stuck an Anactech sticker to a tree. So the cops were like looking for them. Do you know what I mean? So whoever it was reported it to the cops, and they were fucked. Then I don't even know if they're still operating, but I know that there's still some parties going on, like
Shout out to Lord Backlash. And what do you call your other man?
Illegal Swede,
Illegal Swede. Oh, what? Hey, some names there.
the Techno Viking of
That's
Belfast.
I know the techno Viking. He's a man. He was in Derry too a while back too. Was he not playing? Like somebody booked him.
I think
to
it
come play?
was.
Or was
might
he
have
not,
been-
Or was he not playing at a bike event or something? I can't even.
Might have been Affect. Affect might have
it was
been.
not Affect or something like that. He was playing that there. I
I
can't
think
remember.
so. Not too sure, but he.
'Cause I remember seeing him in Derry, or so I've seen him about then. Because I've seen him definitely one or two times. Like making a
First night
appearance,
we met them was whenever Coma was running a night, man, and it was Matthew Brown and Connor Given used to run this event, and it was me and Connor and Sandino's, and it was just this crowd from Belfast, and they were like, "Do you want to do like a collaboration night?" And Matthew and Connor were like, "Sweet," so they put me on, and they brought their extra sound system and whatnot from Belfast up in a big van and stuff, and they were bringing.
Was it the meat grinder?
No, it wasn't Meat Grinder. They were bringing someone, I can't mind who it was. Someone from Vegas, they play.
From Vegas.
They brought him over from Vegas or something like that to
Jesus.
play, and I played, but like me techno was just kind of like your drum code, like 127
Like Alpha's
BPM.
Patrick kind of
stuff
you were
like-
on about at the start when you
and
started listening to
then-
it. That was the same with me for a few years too. Like when people say techno elsewhere, like they mean techno, like it's hardcore. Like jeez.
Like And then I remember I passing over to your man. It was DC Suite at the time, and he was like, he played his tune on a Technics. And for anybody that doesn't know, Technics have like two different speeds that you can play records at. It's like 33 RPM or 45 RPM. Basically, it's for I forget what it's actually for, but in short term, it makes it play faster or slower. And he played his record at like 33, and I was like, "Oh, do you need me to like put the tempo up or anything for this?" And he was like, "Nope." Just had 45, and it was just all boom, 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 like fucking crazy music. And I just looked at Connor. I was like, "Jesus, lad." Like, sadly, like 5 people I think turned up to the event. Like, but you know what I mean? That's the joys.
That's the industry, man. That's what happens. You have some good ones, you have some bad ones. Any DJ out there can tell you that, because you can't say there's any DJ. It's just rammed out every night they've ever played, and if they have, they're probably special. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair play to you, like.
Fucking lucky.
But it's not the same for everybody else. You know what I mean? Big time. At that, see what you're saying to you about the rates per minute. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's to do with how big the vinyl is.
I think you might be right, man. I think you actually are
So
right
I
there.
had to look back. I was like doing it for tech. I had to look into it, but I can't remember now off the top of my head. Hey, I should be able to tell you.
I thought it was something to do with like long like LPs and albums compared to like singles or something. But it might be to do with the way you can get like 12-inch vinyls and then you can get like 7-inch singles and stuff.
That's what I think it is to do with 12 inches or something like that. There might be, not 100% sure. But see, over the years, hey, how's your like style of music changed? Like, could you say like even though you you started with like techno and all, like now you're like probably one of the houseiest and funkiest man I know, like G-funk and all. So
Like
how's that happened there? Do you think?
over the years, like at first it was kind of like first getting on the dance music, it was definitely like some mad shit like dubstep and all just like crazy like sounds compared to what I would play now. But when I started getting on the house music, like I started kind of trying to differentiate, like find out what the difference was. And this is something like as I left school, I went on to do a music degree in tech, and no, it wasn't even a music degree. It was, what was it? Is it a diploma in tech, the music technology.
Level 3. Diploma.
Level 3 diploma in music technology, and then just kind of like learning and educating myself through assignments and whatnot I had to do. And then especially from going to Manchester to study music production, and Spirit Studios is where I studied. Just kind of like opened my eyes, because in Derry it's like, if it's not really like now, it's starting to become different because people's, I don't know what's going on, like, but people are just on the all sorts of different music these days. I would say like back in the day it would be more like especially whenever all this kind of music was just kind of new in the brain and like new coming out in the mainstream in the 90s, especially with like trance and stuff like that. Like, see, being in England and like understanding how many different genres, like it's not like house and techno.
People like the
It's
genres
like all,
too,
it's like
at that.
England's just like a completely different story, man. It's like drum and bass and all like UK music and jungle, and like over here it's like it's more or less just house and techno nights. Now it's kind of starting to become like breaks and like garage
Starting to
and
get a
stuff.
lot of UK influence now here, but it's like people didn't want it for years or something. But too, it's like a lot of people just want to hear what they want to hear and all. Like what you were saying, they do with the rave culture years ago in the 90s and all, back with a barn and all that there stuff and all these older DJs and all. It's like it's just like went into the younger generation and they just all love trance and fuck, and like it's like the same music that was been going from the 90s. It's like it's never
Definitely. Like,
what's the word for it? I don't even know how to get
just
it
like
out.
90s.
It's never evolved, man. You know what I mean? The scene nearly, it has sorta, but it hasn't really. Like, it's sort of stayed the same. It's never got any different.
It's got bigger, but it's kind of, it hasn't changed too much. Like what I'd say, what gets played in like the mainstream and whatnot, commercial music has like changed drastically. But like in terms of dance music, I would say from my best understanding, it's always just kind of been like house, techno, and trance. And even at that, there's a very thin or thick line from what, like, now this is, as I was saying, from what I'm understanding, like how my taste in music's changed through the years. Like from starting off with like listening to old school rap and stuff like that, like that's where I'd say like the funky influence even comes from. But like my ma as well, she would have listened to loads of 60s, 70s, and even 50s music. So like that kind of like doo wop and all that swing kind of stuff. I would have a big
James
influence
Brown
through
and
that
shit
there.
like
So
that there
like
and all.
kind of listening to hip hop and understanding the influences that like say like if you talk about how like it's the 70s, 60s and 70s R&B and soul music that gets taken and put on a kind of hip hop drum beat and then people start rapping over it and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then free house music, just kind of hearing pianos and how different instruments could be used in a different kind of
But even
fashion.
what you're on about too, like the same thing where they just take like hip hop samples and just throw like a wee 4/4 kick drum over
Literally,
the
it's
top.
like
Yeah,
throw like take a disco drum beat and throw some piano on it and like use a drum machine and boom, you've got some house like, you know what I
I
mean?
know,
Like in the
literally.
shortest term. But like it's just kind of what got me here and the kind of stuff that I enjoyed playing. To me, like techno just kind of sound like I don't know. There was just something that
Would you
stopped.
say that phase died out fast for you? Like,
For me, definitely. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Derry still loves it, but like, just over the years of DJing now, like, even as we kind of all us four, me, you, Sean, and Steve, kind of DJing, and like we all had different kind of styles. Do you know what I mean? Like Steve's a techno master.
Steve's always been like the heaviest man. Like I could pull out a few techno tunes every now and then, like something that would make you turn your head and be like, what the fuck's Tyrell at? Like, you know what I mean? But Steve's the man for that kind of gear. Like he would just be
Uh,
at it all night. As soon as he gets on the decks, he just start ripping them out. Shout out to Steve too and Sean McLaughlin, the main man.
well, like we all kind of developed our own styles from DJing, and then I don't know. I wasn't even intentional. I always considered myself just like the funky one. You know what I mean? Like just house music, like all the way. Anything I heard, and like there was just so much of it accessible. Like especially through like YouTube, SoundCloud, and like just knowing how to kind of utilize it. I just always loved that kind of funky sound. And then when I was doing my degree, kind of like it always appealed to me, especially through listening to people like Kerama and Mulgrab and how they sample house music. Like if you listen to Kerama Raw Cuts, it's a Wu-Tang Clan sample, and it's like proper hard house music, and even
Stop, man.
Mulgrab
I used to
too.
love that
Like
tune. I still do
BF.
love it. I haven't heard it in years, but Mulgrab too, he's a serious man, like for making house music. Like a lot of his music got took off Spotify too, so it did.
I don't even know it.
I didn't know too, man, until about last year, but it made sense because think about like most of Mulgrab's music's all
Sample.
pure samples, like you know what I mean. Like To Be Real, I think To Be Real got took off Spotify. I'm not
Right,
100%.
that I'd be able to pay some money to get the clearance for that sample.
You know what I mean?
But like just like hearing how like these people were like mixing house and hip hop, and like in the last year or so I was like, oh, not even the last year. I remember whenever I went to uni first, and our tutors were like, what kind of music do you like? You know, what are your influences? Because like when it comes to music, it's all about like influence and how you kind of
100%. Like who do you listen to and what do you like? Like
where
when you
you're
go
bringing your influence from and whatnot. Like so, I always said to myself, I want to make house music that like encapsulates hip hop and like has elements of hip hop, because that's what got me on the like. If it hadn't have been for hip hop and rapping, I would have never found house music, because I would have never started DJing. So like it's just like for me it came hand in hand. And then when I found out about like early hip house and stuff like that, I was like, these paths cross. And then even like watching documentaries like Hip Hop Evolution, and then for my dissertation I did a project on like the evolution of house music and how it was influenced by like if you think about the music that people have been listening to, especially in like America and stuff, from I don't even know, maybe like the 60s right up to now, it's like so hip hop came from like black, funk, soul, R&B,
blues too,
and then
like,
blues,
all
jazz,
that.
and blues would have came like that would have been that predecessor. So there's like a lineage nearly of like where this all comes up to, and then in the 80s, hip hop, like 70s and 80s, house music and hip hop started to emerge, and I noticed how it both came from how do you word this like disadvantaged communities, like black communities in America,
Black, gay
who weren't
communities too,
the
yeah.
house, especially for like the queer community, like
And the gay community got it
listening
tight.
to
Like dance music was considered gay music until up till like the 90s and the early 2000s. Like
until
a
it
lot
became cool.
I know a lot of people consider dance music gay music because the only people were listening to house music was gay people in their clubs and all. And a lot of the gay clubs in America, like straight people would have went there because they knew what was down. Like, you know, like, and here's where the parties are at, boys. Like, you're missing out.
Paradise Garage and like the warehouse in Chicago, and like even when I was doing my dissertation, I was watching documentaries, and the first kind of house music, the legendary house music nightclubs, they were like not even Paradise Garage. The Chicago warehouse was like it was like an invite only like members thing, and it was only for gay people. It was a gay club, like, do you know what I mean? So like just kind of learning like that all these genres that I really like that really catch my ear are all influenced by each other in one way or another. And just even listening now, like recently I've just been listening to like a whole lot of like 70s soul and funk music, like, and like because I'm trying to kind of get inspiration and
I resonate with it.
I resonate with it just to kind of add like produce something
get some
that's influenced
inspiration
by
off it.
it.
I'm on 100%. I know
And
you
then
feel I do that every
even
now and then too.
listening to tunes and finding the original samples. Like there's a playlist I've been listening to on Spotify.
And
It's
breaking
called
music down.
Everybody Loves the Sunshine, and like I'm listening to it, and it's just like I'm hearing where the original samples
That's
are
something I
coming
wanted
from.
to do in this podcast too, because I was like trying to talk about it in the introduction at the end of it too, and I'll definitely get you on for more episodes. We can both do it, where we can take pieces of music and like break them down, because that's the song I wanted to do in this, because I wanted to do like on the YouTube channel and all, like sports analysis, like I don't know if I'm going to do it. I wanted to do one over the McGregor fight, but see the way he broke his ankle, hey, I don't even know if I want to go over that, because nobody knows what happened. But with music, I definitely want to break down music, like what you were on about, because you can hear it when you listen to music, you know what I mean? But then sometimes there's more samples and songs that you didn't even know, you know what I mean? And you can only find when you're going through comment sections and certain things, because the producer doesn't always be so open about it, because not all samples are legal too, you know what I mean? Sometimes they do a wee was-I, you know what I mean, with a sample, like, just to get it in there, and it's one of them ones that's, like, I definitely can't wait to get you on too, to do that there too, because breaking down music, like, and hearing the samples it's a talent too, man. It's not easy to do, like, it actually ain't.
There's a podcast, I don't even know if it's a podcast, but it's like a YouTube series as well, where boys actually do that. They take a song and they be like, right, like, they look for all the individual samples on it, and like, even like what sample was it? It was their Daft Punk.
Have you ever seen the Prodigy ones?
No.
There's a boy that does it on YouTube with a Prodigy lad, and he's like, how your man Ian, I can't even mind his name.
Ian.
Son, I can't even mind his name anyway, but like he breaks
Keith
down.
Flint.
Or Keith, is that what his name was?
His
Even?
name's
What am I,
Ian,
Ian, man?
Keith
He's not
Flint.
flat. He's not flat, lad. But your man YouTube. It was like 7 years ago too on Ableton. Like your man died. Or it wasn't even. That was shorter. It was like more
was a
recent
couple
than
years
that.
ago,
It
man.
was only a couple of years ago he died.
2
But
years ago.
I seen the video on YouTube anyway. It said about 7 years ago, like it was made. And your man breaks down how like all the Prodigy tunes were made and all the samples and where he got the samples from, and he goes back to all the old tracks and when he like samples them too and like remixed the Prodigy tunes and like what.
So that's what I've been kind of trying to do now, because like at the minute I'm trying to like my cup up, like, because like it's something I want to do. I want to get back on the rapping again, like, definitely, because it's like, if I just keep thinking, like, what if I hadn't give it up? Do you know what I mean? But like that's a conversation for another day. But like, just kind of trying to like discover the samples and how things are made, and like like even through Kanye West, man. I've been listening to loads of Kanye West recently, and the way he's able to take samples and flip them and turn them on the tracks that he turned them on the, like, it was just
He layers a lot of his music, he like voices and all, and like it's beautiful. His music, hey, it actually is. Like, see when you go back listening to some of the tracks he's made and all. Like, I always wondered when I would hear Kanye West on tracks too, and like, why is he just, what would he call it, tune he comes on? There's a few tunes he comes on, like music videos and all. Like, he does the one with Kendrick, no, not with Kendrick Lamar, where he Busta Rhymes and Q-Tip and all, where he just rolls in and all. And he's like, I want to let y'all know, yeah. I'm going to let y'all know, yeah. And
he
he's just,
says like one thing. He's all, this is easy.
he just leaves, eh?
Tip.
But I never knew, man. Like, I never, like, you were saying with the hip hop evolution, how like much an influence he was, but being a producer and all. I didn't know he was a producer. I just thought he was an artist. So it makes
Same.
sense why he was just there. Always was probably him making the beats, and it definitely was him with a lot of things, like, you know what I mean. And he's just laying it down, and he was just getting himself on there to just be like, I'm gonna let y'all know, yeah, you know what I mean. He made it, and it's mad to think like it's crazy what he's done for the hip hop industry, and he's still doing, like, that man's mad.
It's crazy. Like, he's I don't know, man. It's just nuts. Like finding out that I produced some of Jay Z's old tracks, like Ain't No Love,
A lot of
and
Jay Z's music he produced, man. A lot of it, like he was Jay Z's producer, like you know what I mean.
for a while, like it's fucking it's crazy, like it's crazy.
That's crazy, is right. Hey, that's crazy. But what do you got going on at the minute? Are you making any music? Or what
I'm
kind?
trying, as I was saying, I was trying to make some hip hop, like whenever I was doing my degree, like this year's trying to study through COVID, like the last year, like I was supposed to be in Manchester for my final year of my music degree, and then since the 22nd of March, literally the night that we went on the lockdown, I came back, and I've been back since.
You haven't even seen Manchester in
I
about a
haven't
year,
haven't
have
seen
you?
Manchester. Like I've been paying rent and whatnot, and I just haven't been over there. Like that's just what I decided to do, and I was just getting at that type way, trying to get through my degree, especially being in a creative industry and a creative practice. Whenever nightclubs and all were shut down, like. And I just didn't
No
have any more.
spaces for
I
you
was
to be
just
creative, pretty much.
literally, man. Like I was just sick of staring at the same four walls in my room, and like I was better attended in my uni classes than ever. But I just couldn't have been arsed to make music, man, for ages. And
I
like
was the
there's
same
so
with me
many
too, lad.
times, like I remember even messaging you loads of times, being like, "Fuck this degree, I don't even want to do it." But like I ain't paying no 9 grand a year, and I didn't get in this much debt. They kind of fucking pack it in at the end, so I just stuck with it and got through it. But like I said to myself, like whenever I'm finished uni, I'll have time to do whatever I want and like whatever music I want. And like even now, still, just still haven't like found the kind of drive to try and make house music.
Still haven't
In
got on your
particular,
groove
I
yet.
haven't got into my groove at all. Like I've made some good hip hop beats, like you know what I mean. But that's because I'm just listening to hip hop, kind of trying to like educate myself.
You're flat out watching breakdowns and all too, but
Aye,
sampling, aren't you? Because every
literally,
time you
aye.
join that PlayStation on, you be chatting to us. You're always got someone on the background. And they can hear you like hitting the keys, just all do 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 do, and you're like you're sampling and all. Like
Just trying, kind of trying to like brush up on like techniques and whatever. Like, but I need to kind of get on the ball because like looking to start a record. I'm looking to kind of release music on a record label that I'm looking to start up, Maiden City Grooves.
that's what I was gonna get there. You've got your own record label now. When did you start this too? About a month or two ago, wasn't it?
I will. To me, I wouldn't even say I've started it
Yeah,
yet
well,
because I haven't released anything, but I've
You
announced
still
that
put
I'm
it out
starting
there,
it,
man.
aye.
You know what I mean?
So it's just like
it was like the same with me with this podcast. That's why I was like dying to get you in today, man, because I put like an introduction out last week, so it was like the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, have I started a podcast? Or, you know what I mean? That's
well, fair as it's like as I
well, now
was
you
saying,
have,
man.
man. This is getting recorded now, and it's getting put out there, whether you like it or not. Like, so the podcast is here now. Yeah, episode 1. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Boom.
That's right. Just like it's going. That's how all the episodes are starting there, lad. I swear.
Aye, but like it's just a platform to kind of promote dairy musicians and dairy artists and who are doing what they're doing. Like there's like if you think about it, anybody who knows the crack way, even it doesn't even matter if it's music, anything in general. Like if you look at Belfast just got like so much more at the minute than Derry, and fair enough, it's a capital city and all, it's bigger and whatnot. Like
I know, man, but like, there's not even.
Derry's got loads of talent that just like to me, there's no real like. I know there's definitely record labels from Derry. Like in terms of dance music, I know Darren Allen. He's got one underlying form. Shout out to that. But I just kind of seen a gap, especially for our age group. They kind of
There's not much, man. Like that was one thing I always wanted to do when I was in tech. Like when I was getting taught by Liam Craig, shout out to Liam Craig, like one of my favorite teachers. He was like teaching me about record labels and PRS and everything and royalties and the whole what about the industry. But when he was talking to me about record labels ain't like they ain't what people think they are. You know what I mean? It's a domain and it's a platform where the person who owns a record label judges like by what they're going to do. Is your music really going to get out there? And you have to trust on that, like, you know what I'm saying? And the way, like, the bigger record labels and major record labels, there's a lot of shit that goes on. That's why a lot of people don't want to be involved with them. But I definitely did want to start a record label myself too. But I just then, with all this COVID and everything going on, I'd rather you do it, man, because I wouldn't even want to be thinking about the stress of doing something like that. I'd rather have my podcast where I can talk to people on here, you know what I mean? And get exposure a different way. Like, see, just trying to have a record label and trying to promote other people's music just to help benefit myself. Like, I feel like it's too much, man. You know what I mean?
Aye.
There's people for that, like, you know what I mean? And
Definitely.
I can't even promote myself good enough, man. Never mind promote somebody else's music. I feel like at the minute, like, so that's why I haven't even tried to make a record label, man. Because that was like one of my main things. I'm going to make a record label, and I'm going to get Shay Williams music and all, and I'm going to fuck Shay Williams making a big shout out to Shay Williams. Hey,
definitely,
too,
man. Shout out to Shay.
Everybody get on his
the
music.
young genius, hey?
I know why he's one of the best producers I've ever seen from the city too. Derry, like, he is unbelievable. I was studying with him for 2 years. Don't know why he was ever in my class. I think he just sort of just showed up for the crack, like, you know what I mean? He enjoyed it. He wanted to learn a bit about sound engineering, and he's like a wizard when he jumps on that Ableton. You asked him for a track, like a different genre, any type, he'll just make it within 2 seconds.
Definitely.
Actually, man.
But like it's the same kind of thought process that I had too, man. With like making the record label. Like, see, to be honest, I didn't make the record. Like, the idea for the record label wasn't for me to promote other people's music. It was just for me to put my music somewhere without having to fucking
platform
worry.
for your
Like,
own
just a
music too.
platform.
That's
I
another
just
reason why I wanted a record label too. But then at the same time, man, when I was just like thinking about YouTube and all the way, like all these social medias are going now, I'm like wondering, could you just go independent without a record label? You know,
definitely, man. That's what everybody does these days. People put tracks out, and record labels find them. And they're just, oh, hi, we like this. Can we sign it? Like, do you know what I mean?
What did I even say out there now? I know that sounded pure stupid.
No,
man,
it's not even stupid, but man, because
for example, I know firsthand, like, you know what I mean? Like, loads of rappers and all don't even use record labels. Like, they tell you on the socials that they're going to drop something, and boom, it's on Spotify, YouTube. No,
but at the same time, like, they're like, look at them now. If they're big, they're on record labels. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what you want, like, no matter what way it runs, if you get big labels are going to come for you, and like, you can say
that's
no, or you can take the route of like
industry,
JME and Skepta and just make your own platform and like grow it from there. Like, you know
that's
what I mean?
a big thing now. But a lot of these UK rappers are talking about this. Like, they talk about it in all their raps. No, I'm going independent. No, fuck the record labels and all. I mean, they're right in a sense too, because the fees that they get put on the record labels are handing out what people 250 grand there. Take that there and go make an album. Boy goes makes an album, spends 250 grand, then they have to give that 250 grand back to the record label before they get any royalties back on the track, and they might only get like what 20-30% royalties back on the track then on top of the 250 grand that you have to pay back, and that's even if your track makes 250 grand, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, just for an example, like, because you picture getting on that hole there where this record label banked on you're going to be the next big thing, and you just couldn't produce the music, man, and you couldn't stay up to the work rate, and you were just stuck in debt then to some major record label. Nah,
It'd
man.
be a nightmare, like, but
I'd
like,
be mad there. I'd be like, shove your advance up your hole, man. Get the fuck.
Like, that's another thing too. Like, especially like even, and I was fortunate. Well, say fortunate. Like, it was what I was doing in uni was a career development module. And that's where I decided that I decided the name for the record label, Maiden City Grooves, the theme, the branding. And like, even if you look it up on Facebook, Maiden City Grooves, Instagram, Facebook, what else do they have? SoundCloud as well. Nothing on the SoundCloud,
Make sure
but
you
it's still
follow
there, like,
that
do you
there
know what I
big
mean?
Because my music's going to be on it too, like, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And loads of other local artists. So get
it's-
on that Maiden City Grooves, get on all socials, follow it right now, you know what I mean? I want to literally follow it right now. Don't even take time to follow all them other people, not follow us here that we've been calling out the whole time. I swear I'll go mad. But I keep
well,
going
like,
there.
it's just like, I can't even remember what I was saying.
About the Maiden City Grooves.
The module that I was doing was a career development module. So like, it was just like, what do you want to do after your studies at Spirit Studios, and like, what kind of career path do you want to take? And I was like, I want to have a platform just to release my own music and blah blah blah. Like, so I was just like, right, let's do it. And I found the branding, found an graphic designer, Fun Kiar. Shout out to Fun's art.
Shout out to Fun Kiar too.
Instagram.
Big time, because he's the only graphic I have for like on my SoundCloud. If you ever look at anything on my SoundCloud and says Tyrell Oswary with a wee spin in circles, that's from your man Fun Kiar too. He's a beast. So shout out to him big time.
Aye, but like, it's just like I said to myself, I was like, right. So I was learning about the music industry through this module and my tutor. While I was kind of planning to like do up the record label, and like how to get contracts and whatnot done up, and I have the agreements, like know the splits and like the term of the agreement and like the territory of the agreement and all that stuff. The stuff that we would have had to go over with Tony Talbot. I basically just went over it again, and like was like, right, this is what I have to kind of tailor to my record label. Like, so now it's basically all about getting, like, I still need to kind of this, like, I know what I want to put out on the first release, but for me, it's not really enough. Like, and I need to give myself more credit in these kind of instances too. Like, I need to have the kind of mentality that you have, where you just do something, and if you want to put it out, you'll put it out.
Just
like,
get it out. I don't even.
Aye.
But that, man, that's the same with me too, man. Like, I was looking on the, where was it? A while back there, I was looking under the 4-4 group on Facebook, and when I was looking under the group, there was a boy talking about how he keeps making music, but then he doesn't finish the music because he keeps making different tracks, and his head's getting clouded. And somebody commented under it, and he was, so the reason you're getting clouded is because you're listening to one thing over and over, and you're becoming your worst critic. Whereas you haven't let that many other people listen to the music, and when you do, they're going to be like, "That's no, they haven't heard anything like this before." And they're like, "That's good, but you've heard this from start to scratch." So when you're listening to it, you know what I mean? You're just like, "I don't even want to put this out now at this point." You're like, "It's a no," you know what I mean? You're just critiquing every wee thing about the track, and by that point, it just doesn't go anywhere. Then, you know what I mean? And this can happen with other things too in life. It can be anything. Like it doesn't just have to be making music. It could be anything. You could just critique it, and don't do it, and that's it. It's just you're stuck in a hole, and
You become your own worst enemy. That's what I was like all year. I was just, even especially with doing the degree and stuff, I was my own worst enemy, and I kept saying to myself, I need to learn to be my own best friend. You know what I mean? Right. So like that's still something that I'm trying to work out now, but like slowly but surely I'm getting there. But it's at the minute it's just about like pulling the finger out and sourcing the music that I feel comfortable with, like, because especially, and like this is when I spoke to whenever I spoke to kind of label owners and stuff, like I spoke to Adam Karova from Karova Spalt Milk Records. Shout out to him. He's been doing a lot in Belfast, and he's also one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of get things going as well, because I was like, right, there's loads going on in Belfast, and like Derry needs that kind of space as well. And I was speaking to like Holly Lester. She's got her own record label out, Duality Tracks.
I haven't even seen that yet too. She's from Derry too, isn't she?
No, she's from Antrim, so she is, man.
I thought she was from Derry, man. I could have swore.
She's from Antrim, like. But
that's what we have from here. Orla, isn't it?
Orla.
Orla.
So like, she's got her own record label out too.
What's hers called? It's got a cool name too. Her record label.
Ah, man, it's in my head on.
Oh, we're slacking here, man. Slacking big time. Can I remember Jika Jika's anniversary? Orla's record label. What's going on here?
I'll take it on push. Just edit this out.
I know, work away, lad. We'll work away. So when we're starting this podcast, that's why I wanted to talk about, like Jordan was saying, from a module from Tech, well, university. That's a reason he started his record label. The reason me personally I'm starting this podcast too is because Tony Talbot's a big influence, one of my teachers when I was in education. And speaking to him, he's talking about ways of getting exposure and ways of getting myself out there and connecting the audiences and whatnot. And the podcast was one of the best ways, and it was a good idea. They told me, like, and he said because I'm a talker and I talk shit all the time, he reckons I could engage with people, and he just reckon he seen a light in me. You know what I mean? He knew what I was like. He knew I could sometimes be lazy, but he also seen the work ethic. I mean, like, and he understood that I could get things done. So it just influenced me to get that podcast on the rails, and I haven't spoken to Tony now in a long time, but I know when I do next speak to him, he'll probably give me a wee pat on the shoulder and probably slap me too. But I shout out to Tony Talbot, the main man, actually, the sensei, the fucking samurai, the
music buzzmaster.
Literally the music master, Tony Talbot. You ever get stuck up with some music contracts or anything like that there, you know who to call. He's your main man. Actually, because there's probably not many other people around Ireland and all could do that kind of thing here. I swear to God. Like, who would you call, like, you know what I mean, if you got tied into some musical contracts like that, man?
I don't even know. I don't know. Probably ring me fucking tutor in Manchester or something like that.
What the fuck do you do? How do you feel now, man? Are you enjoying the education? Like, what's that been like?
Leafy, just enjoying
like
life, man. Trying
weight off your shoulders.
Oh man, like this year, like, you know it yourself, because how you were going through the same kind of thing, man. Weirdly enough, we were going through the exact same thing.
Locked in your bedroom, lad.
Like
Sitting with 2 speakers and a
trying
fucking.
to being told that you need to do this and do that, like. And
Well, you're trying to make music yourself too, and you're like, what the fuck even is the point?
it was just a fucking nightmare. Cause like, see, especially too, cause like, when I went to, uni, I just kind of threw myself on that. I was like, just boom, dive head first, like, do you know what I mean? Just fucking. That's it, like, and I regret it, but at the same time I don't, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't have got the chance to like work at the events that I work at, and like Park Life, the warehouse project, and all that crack, like. But it's just trying. It took me kind of 3 years to realize that I didn't need a music degree to be a musician, like, you know what I mean? Like
100%, man. Like
most musicians that we admire and that we want to be like didn't go through university to learn music. They cannot do what they do. They just kind of did it.
they just gain
like-
attention and but what that, like, it's either you get a local following and some agent comes to you and surrounds you with some people that's going to make you a great musician, or you just have to learn how to do it yourself through like YouTube or something, or you just take a path we did, the path less traveled, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just grind at it. Like that's one thing that I'm learning. It's about hard work. Like, and you need to put the hard work on to reap the rewards, which is something.
Fact, man,
I don't
you don't
know,
just
maybe-
get nowhere overnight, like, you know what I mean?
Literally, like it's to me, like, in terms of producing music, I definitely haven't been putting on as much work as I should, but at the same time, like, I'm young. Do you know what I mean? Like, so as you were saying, just it's just hard, man. It's a fucking nightmare. 'Cause whenever you're not feeling it, you can't just dive on and start fucking making it. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, do you know what I
Fact,
mean?
lad, you can't just fucking decide one day you're just gonna have fucking 10,000 followers, you know what I mean? Like 10,000 people that just want to be like fucking you know what I mean? To him, like, actually followers too. I don't mean like fucking Instagram followers. I'm talking about people that you influence and all, know what I mean? Like people that actually support you, you know? You can't just fucking gain that overnight, like, you know what I mean? That's one of them things you definitely do. You have to grind and grind, like we seen the weekend there. Dustin Poirier spark McGregor for the. Well, I didn't even spark him for a second time. Like I said,
Fucking
broken
would I,
ankle.
man, I'm telling
He
you.
would have for this. Like, I'm not going to doubt that there. Like the way he was pounding him and the way it was looking and the way his punches were affecting him and all. Like, he was a man took the road less travelled. Like, you know what I mean, man? Think about the many times I seen that man there get put out and fucked up in fights and all, man. And now look at him, top of the world. What do you
Oh, man.
mean, man?
That's why, like he was saying in an interview to you, that's why, like, him and Oliveira is gonna be a lethal fight,
A
because they're
dog
both
fight, man. They
they're
were
both
both
at the same-
both at the bottom, man.
like,
They
they
both
both came from featherweight as well.
They both got knocked out, man, bad. Like, both got choked out and all, man, messed up, bloody wars and all, man. Just their fists annihilated, like, and they're at the top. It's mad they think that they kept going through all them bittings and all, know what I mean? They still made it, and like what you said, I know it's all about hard work, man.
That's what I.
That's
like,
why
it's
they just worked harder than everybody else. It wasn't they do anything that they were bigger or their bodies, or they just worked harder than everybody else. And samples out there, like you seen with McGregor, he just got smashed because what the fuck's he been doing for the last 5 years? Like, he's probably been training with a wee amateur fighter here, a wee pro air, like, but he's not on the fucking camps and the depths.
He's a businessman now more than an MMA fighter, like.
I
But as
know.
like as you like, even and I, like, as I'm just thinking now, I kind of, it relates me back to what I was saying about my degree. Like, you need to work hard and you reap the rewards. Like I got through it. You know what I mean? Like, I got my 2-1. I'm fucking finished now. I'm finished with learning education. I suppose I'm not finished with learning, because every day is a learning process whenever it comes to music. But through formal education, maybe I've started teaching young ones, like, but like in terms of like doing a masters and all that crack, it's just a fucking, like, I can't even describe it, man. Like, the weight off the shoulders.
Like, would you
to get it
advise like older musicians and younger musicians going forward are probably going to be listening to
See,
this now? Would you tell them they go to
It's
education?
a hard one, man, because people have spoken to me about it before, and even like my wee cousin, he wants to go to, he is going to do level 2 music in September, and I was like, that's good. I'm glad that he's going to do that, because he's going to learn musical skills and production and hopefully performance through doing that course.
They'll learn
But
about
in terms of
sequence and all,
university,
loads of things.
I wouldn't, like, personally, I wouldn't recommend it, because, like, I remember in the last few days of my degree, I was curious. I was like, what can I get out of this? Like, do you know what I mean? And I googled. I was like, what can I get with a music degree? And it took me to like some like a blog or whatever, like Reddit thing, and it was like, I was basically people saying how important is a music degree? Do you know what I mean? Like, what can I get with this? And it was just people commenting on there, being like, spend 9 grand a year on music equipment. Don't do it. You know what I mean? It's stupid. It's this, it's that, and I was just sitting like I was like a fist
just
palm moment.
what you don't want to see, man.
That's
You're
what I
like,
mean. I
oh
was like
my
trying to get
God.
through my last 2 assignments, and I was like,
So
that's not what I wanted to see
Fuck this
whatsoever.
here, just,
Exactly, and I felt like that loads of times. But like I fucking buckled up and got through the fucking like sweat and tears. I wouldn't say blood, like, you know what I mean, but like
definitely sweat and
definitely
tears.
sweat and tears, man. Just
hell,
to
stuck
fucking
in a room sweating balls, man, ready to
get
point
over
your
it,
head
man.
off a
Pissing
wall.
my room. I don't know how many times I just got up and just started pissing my room, and like I even had to stop like smoking weed. For anybody who really like knows me, like knows that
Those both of us,
both of us, man. We just these two big
stoner
stoners, man. You know what I
bastards,
mean? But like in February, like I literally just had to turn around and be like, right, I'm getting up and I'm smoking weed, and I have been doing since I was realistically since I was like
15
fucking
or
15 or
16
16 now, but like straight for like a year through, I'd say fucking 3 years, just for uni, and like getting up smoking bongs every day and just kind of like fucking going on the a pure lays, just sitting playing PS4
It never
all
seemed
day.
like a bad problem, man, when the world was like functioning,
When
man.
it was functioning,
But
and then
see, once
lockdown hit,
COVID
man.
hit, man, you just realised, man, you were
Like,
like, I'm just sitting here like fucking The Walking Dead, man, just staring at my TV or something.
I don't know, maybe
you're
like you're right there, like COVID just fucked, man.
it
It's
just fucking ruined everything, man. It actually did. It just ruined your favourite things and all. Like, even when you go to a bar now, it's still not the same. You're like, what the fuck is this here? Like, it's still good crack and all, but you're like out there now, you know, and you can't even go up to a bar to order a drink. And most
trying
bars,
to get on the bar is a fucking nightmare.
oh,
Never
stop,
mind.
lad. The last
go
few
to a
times I was
bar.
out in a bar, I had X on crack, like 100%. I had X on crack, fights afterwards and all, standing watching fights and all, drinks getting poured all over me. Like, I was loving it, but it's just mad, man.
The town never changes, but society definitely has, like, you know what I mean? It's just fucking the new normal, and
I know, man. See,
growing
these
accustomed to
people
it.
still wearing these masks and all everywhere. Like, I don't mean to offend anybody and all. I honestly don't know what my opinion of COVID is. Like, I don't watch media and all and stuff like that there. So, COVID's nothing to me. Like, it doesn't really exist to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really understand what's going on.
Like, it's like watching the news and like every day, like it's just
People are telling me, you know, I need to, like, people tell me all the time I need to watch the news and all, and I'm like, why? So I can fucking get. Like, I don't want to say, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, know what I mean? But like brainwashed, like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, what? Like, literally, they're just feeding you COVID statistics every day, and of course, you're gonna be worried about COVID. Then, like, I watched some Vox thing the other day. It was about how Taiwan got away from COVID and all until now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole documentary was meant to be about how Taiwan avoided COVID. Then your girl said at the end of the documentary, that's what the documentary was going to be about until now. Like, you know what I mean? Taiwan got hit with COVID there, so it did. And
did it?
apparently, like, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on, man. But like, even watching that, it got me thinking about COVID for about a day, and it just went out of my mind again until now we're having this conversation. Like, the word meant so much or something at the start. It was such a hostile word, you know. Remember when you first heard that word, COVID-19 and all, the lockdown, all the pandemic. And
I
all?
remember, man. Whenever
You're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? The
it
world
was a
gonna end?
weekend, man. There was 4 of us in the house in Manchester. On the Friday, I was sitting doing my assignment, and like, right, fucking have to hand this on, blah blah blah. And my ma rang me. She was like, "Oh, you should come home," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to come home."
Sound like.
And then, like, we were like, "Oh, it's getting bad, lockdown, blah blah blah." And then, boom, I come home on the Monday. She was like, "Right, I'm booked." Like, within that weekend, all 4 of us had to just plan to kind of fucking get up and leave. And then from the Friday, we were like, "I will be sweet." And then on the Monday, we were all home. You know, like, we were like, it was fucking ridiculous. Like, it was just that fast. And then whenever I came home at night, Boris Johnson announced that we were going on the national lockdown. And then we're only starting to come out of the national lockdown, like, do you know what I mean? But like, it was just,
I'm like going a night, you know what I mean?
like,
Stupid.
I don't even know how many lockdowns there was now, 3 or 4, I think. Ireland, and like, even being from Northern Ireland, it's an even weirder fucking case, because you're getting stuff from the UK government, and you're like, right, well, our government,
you don't get orders, but from the UK government.
No, I know why, but
10
it's
years
like,
later, like, or whatever way it works.
It's like
bullshit.
the UK comes out and says we're doing this, and then we have to turn around and be like, right, well, what's the crack with the South? And then our government decides what they're doing. But even now, like Ireland's like way behind us still. I think
It's just mad.
there's I don't know. I don't even know if you can go in there a bar yet and sit in the south of Ireland. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just beer gardens.
I think they opened up a while back and they closed again then. Something like that. Like, it just keeps opening and closing, man. Some
now
bullshit.
There's like always talk about like fucking different variants. Like,
fuck that there, man. It's actually some ultimate bullshit. Hey.
But like, fuck this COVID talk anyway, man.
Stop. That's what you say. I don't even get that press fucking about COVID. Hey, for fuck's sake. At the weekend, did you watch the UFC in the weekend?
I watched. I think I turned it on whenever the prelims were kind of ending, and then I realized that it was pay-per-view, and that we had to try and get, like, it was a fucking nightmare to try and watch. But I watched the Tuivasa fight. I know there was 2 women fighting. Was it before or after?
What did you see about that? I'll just go over a few fights I have down here anyway. I mean, but did you see the Jennifer Maya and Jessica E fight?
Don't know. Don't think so.
Your girl Jessica E, man, got a fucking 15 stitch deep gash in her forehead, man.
I didn't see that shit. No.
You need to go look that up, man. That holy fuck. I don't know what happened, man. Your girl Jennifer Maya had her elbow. No, they headbutt each other. They're like coming in, they were like fucking throwing a punch or something. They like ducked under each other. Boom, headbutt each other, man. Your girl Jessica E's head was fucking.
She got an eye on her head.
Man, she had an eye on her head, man. Literally, it was fucking mad, hey. It was a crazy one. Did you see the Carlos Condit versus Max Griffin fight?
That's what I saw. I turned it on during the Condit
Max
fight.
Griffin bit the ears off him, but Condit too looked good, man, to be honest, because he was getting smashed up at the start of the fight, but then he came back into the fight. Like, fair play to him, like, because like, I'm surprised I didn't get knocked out. He got dropped in on the first round too, or something like that. There, he got pinged hard.
Condit's just one of them boys. He's like Cerrone or something at this point.
He's just still about now, yeah.
Just still about, like, you know what I mean. But I think I caught the end of the O'Malley fight, and
did you see the Nico Price fight?
No.
No, that there one was wild there, lad. Your man Pereira put it on Nico Price for like the first round.
Oh, my bastard!
Nico was just run that and swinging.
Was that in the main card?
I think so, lad. I think it was. Hey,
because I remember I had to buy it on my phone.
Backflipped on the mountain at one point, man. He did a backflip and landed on a mountain. Oh, he's beat. Like, I'm on a couple of BJJ group chats on Facebook, no chats and all, man. They're all sending in, and look, you can just backflip on the mountain. No, this is what you do. Fuck yard passing. No, fuck the BJJ. We'll just backflip on the mountain. No. Fucking mad, hey, it was one of the weirdest things I've seen. But did you see the Sean O'Malley fight there?
I saw the end of it, just
the end of it, lad. Oh, were you trying to get on the fucking pay-per-view?
Aye, man, this is what
lad,
I mean. Like,
I was gonna go
nightmare.
mad, hey, because that was like sort of the same thing with me. I was sort of lying, falling asleep, and Brian just came on then. He just came on my planet, rolled on, he was on sesh. I was just what the fuck, and he was just what's happening? No, I'm going to get beer, I'll be back now. I was all sweet, so he woke me up and you rang me in. Then I got it sorted then, but no, I didn't even get it sorted. I was trying to get it sorted for ages. My TV couldn't get it sorted. No, how did I end up watching the pay-per-view? I fucking had the smart view, my phone to my TV.
See, this is what we couldn't do, man. My phone. This is what we couldn't do. Because I went on BT box office, and like, I bought the fight, and then on the Fire Stick, there's a BT Sport app, there's a BT TV app, there's no BT box office app, and BT Sport and BT TV are 2 different things. So I was like,
did you get on BT TV in? Is that how it worked?
No.
How did you even get it on?
Because I went on, entered up my details when I bought the fight on box office online, and then it was my email, and I made a password and all, and then when I tried that email and password on the BT TV app, it wasn't working. So I was just sat, me and Shane Curtin were just sitting watching the fight on our phone, or on my phone, like just looking at it, and then when the McGregor fight came in, we were in a Mitchgaff, man, and we were like pulling laptops and MacBooks and all, and trying to hook it up to the TV, and nothing would play in. Like, it would only play on my phone, and I was like, what the fuck? And I couldn't get it up at all. And then when the main event was coming on, then I watched the co-main on my phone, and when the main event was coming on, then we just had to find a legal stream for it. Like,
did you see Tai Tuivasa?
Aye, man. Bang your man.
Jesus Christ, man.
That was funny, man. That's what happens on heavyweights. Get on and start
Greg Hardy cracked him to you, man. Tuivasa was doing the wobbly legs.
Aye, man. He was on the stinky leg. That's what I was saying. He was doing the chicken dance, man.
He just ran at him, boom, on the left hook, man.
Smashed him, hey.
Like, the way he knocked him out, he was mad. Like, he just threw his whole body, and that left hook just sparked him clean out, man. And the big slap after it. Oh, Jesus.
Heavyweights are just, like, unpredictable. Because I remember when Tuivasa was coming up, everybody was like, oh, another Samoan. Like,
and he lost like 3 in a row, didn't he, man?
He lost like a couple of fights.
He got his fist smashed up like 3 fights in a row, and out wrestled and all, man. He was getting free about that place. He was lousy. Did you see the Burns and Wonderboy fight?
Aye, so that
That was a
too.
boring old fight.
Shite.
Man.
Like it was
I-
good, but I just like Wonder Boy was just playing it too safe.
I was about Monkey Man, and by that point there, hey, and like I don't know, well, what I was seeing, man, Wonder Boy was winning, but like at the same time, Burns took him down, like, but Wonder Boy fucked him up, man, dropped him and on
He
his
had him a
head.
spinning head kick too, man, and then
People's gonna be
fucking
like not
stunned
happy
him.
with my opinion on that one, but if that was like a fight, like, you know what I mean, if I like had to stand there and it was a street fight there, Wonder Boy won that one, my book there, like if
I don't think. Well, if it was a street fight, but like the way.
I know,
It's one of them
the
ones, like,
sport,
it's a
man,
fight
it's
where
the
you're
sport,
like, you wanted him, they won, and like he was doing well, but he wasn't like. Burns was
Burns
just
did fuck
grinding,
all
the,
too, but
grinding
man,
the
they
fucking.
were doing fucking nothing, like, compared to, like, I don't know, maybe just in the third round, I'm biased because I seen Wonder Boy have a fucking spinning head kick
No,
and drop him
man,
and all
it's
that.
if Burns hadn't got the takedown in the second round, was it the second round? Did he get one at the end of the
I don't
second
think
round
they
or the
even
third
took him down
round?
the second round. I
I
think
think
it was a third round.
Because Wonder Boy, it was people were saying it was either 2018 or 1919 going on to the third round.
Wonder Boy should have
So,
just
like,
let his hands go,
That's
man.
what I was saying, man. Like
Should just let them go, man. Just ping him. Hey, I don't want
Wonder Boy's
Boy
too
not,
good
man.
at a striker. They just be like playing it safe, but suppose you have to
Stop.
play it safe.
Fuck's sake.
You're that good at a striker.
McGregor and Poirier. What do you even
I don't
think
know,
about
man.
this, man? What do you can even say about this before we close
Poirier
this up?
fucked them up, man. You know what I mean? Poirier did, like, whenever, like, just the way they were fighting, man. Like, McGregor smashed him. I think it was a left hand. Caught him a left hand. Poirier just ate it and started, like, coming forward again. And they were getting on that kind of, like, dugout kind of shit, man, where they were just starting to box. And Poirier started, like, teeing off on him. And then Poirier cracked him,
get
too.
them that kind of fight there with T-Rex arms,
I
like.
don't know why he was just, like, but we see we all the, like, he was trying to get back on the, like, the Mustang Mac kind of mode, and like it just wasn't. It wasn't
it's
work.
not
It didn't
there,
work
man.
for
It's
him,
just
man. And
not
then
there.
his fucking
Even
legs
like
snapped.
one point in the fight, man, Poirier like threw a feint at him, and he did like the way like he moved his head left and right, but like he was like pure unsure of where like the shot was gonna come from, and where like in previous fights, like McGregor was never like unsure of where the punch was coming from. He just knew he was moving it away. You know what I mean? Or he was like slipping, or he was gonna roll. But then like with Poirier, it was like that wee bit of uncertainty was there. Like he didn't know what Poirier was gonna do or something. Like because like, Poirier when he had him that combination and he tied up with Poirier, I was like, this fight's over. I just knew it, man, because I was like, why did he tie up with Poirier? And he didn't try to circle or run away. You know what I mean? Get away from him. He like actually came on him, and like everybody's saying he shot for a takedown. He didn't. He tried to tie up in a clinch to slow a fight down, but Poirier just fucking took advantage, yeah, because he's bigger in, you know what I mean? Pushed him against a cage, took him down like a wine just. Well, he didn't even. They got caught in a guillotine, like, but of course he's going to get it out. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you know, man.
That's what I kept saying to you. It was like trying to put a guillotine in a black belt, and I'm like,
Poirier said
McGregor.
it's like
We
at
know,
one point it did get on tight, like they said in an interview, man. But see, too, the way the cage was, Poirier was like able to bounce on his head and the guillotine, and his feet were up against a cage. So like McGregor couldn't like crank on his neck, you know what I mean? Poirier's like fucking his whole body's like up, you know what I mean? So McGregor was just holding on to his neck, and I just what if he went high elbow, McGregor might have been able to submit him, like, but it was just one of them, man.
to me, man, whenever McGregor starts trying to fight on the ground, you know that he's not going to win the fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's
maybe
that
the Diaz one might have been the exception.
But
I don't even remember the second Diaz fight at this point, man. Did he take him down in the second fight? Like,
no,
Did it
did he
even-
fuck?
no,
He
didn't even go
stayed
to the
away from
ground.
McGregor, didn't even go where he wants. But see, like McGregor, like it annoys me, man. It annoys me so much because like he was lying on the floor, right? He didn't even try, like, he's meant to be a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He could have even just tried to entangle his Poirier's legs. They try to sweep Poirier, or something like that there. I know Poirier was being heavy, but he could have tried to come up and wrestle a single leg or something, you know what I mean? Like, that anything to stop himself getting pounded out. Like, you just let Poirier pound him. It's not that they let him, Poirier just did it, you know what I mean? Poirier fucking was just like, fuck you, man. Postured up, just started pounding him, stacked him up, man. I'm up against a cage. But McGregor should have tried to get up or something, you know what I mean?
he was fucking him up, eh?
It was he
mad.
not, man.
He just he was eating
McGregor's
elbows.
mouth was all busted and all, man. He was just getting slapped into the floor.
He was eating elbows with hot sauce, man.
And
That's
the
what I
only
was saying.
reason McGregor got back up too is because he pulled Poirier's glove and up kicked him, and Poirier went to turn around and tell Herb Dean. McGregor stood up as he went to turn around and tell Herb Dean. So McGregor pulled a crafty, like, he didn't stay on the ground. He got up and was just, let's go now, boy. Because he thought that was his chance then, but he still got fucking ankles snapped.
I like, in my opinion, if it had went to the second round, I reckon Poirier would have finished him
He
again.
probably would have, man.
You know what I mean? What round was it
Probably.
last time he finished him?
Second.
No, I'm thinking of the Yam fight where it was the fourth round. It felt like the second.
Mad.
But like Poirier, to me, he's just his levels above now, man.
Too durable,
like, he's
man,
like,
experienced
see,
and all.
literally, if you look at the track record from who Poirier's fought since the first McGregor fight, and like how often he's fought since the first McGregor fight, Like even in the last like fucking how many years, man? Like 5 years. How active Poirier's been compared to McGregor,
man,
and it obviously has to do with the amount of money that he's making and whatnot, and like the other business ventures that he's doing, and just how big a superstar he became. But like when it comes to the art of fighting, like, do you know what I mean? Like you of all people know yourself, you can't fucking.
You can't half-ass it, man.
Exactly.
You need to be there, especially when you're fighting at that level too. Like, even one thing, like McGregor needs to be back with his old team or something. Like, I know that he's still with his coaches and all, but he needs to be in like the gym where like all the young boys train and all. No, like the young savages coming up and all, the young pros, the young amateurs. He needs to be around them because that's all the boys he's gonna be fighting now. If he's not fighting Poirier next, he's fighting Oliveira, Poirier, yeah, like one of them boys. He has to fight Gagey or something.
To me, he should.
Know what I mean? He has to fight
to me, if he doesn't like. I don't think he deserves the fourth fight. I don't think he deserves a fourth fight.
Poirier will just take a buck for the money, man.
Dana wants it too, because like even I was watching, I didn't even get through his whole post press conference interview, but he was just locking up his hole again, man. He's just you can't have a fight finish like that. No, and these guys will get a fourth fight. No, and
I know,
like
man. He wants McGregor.
Poirier was even standing in the octagon. He was like, I fucking beat him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like. The fight was going Poirier's way, do you know what I mean? And McGregor just.
I think it was that easy for Poirier, but he's like, I'm down for like an easy paycheck like that again. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, I don't even have to go into deep waters with his kid. Like, I can punch and all, but like Poirier's not even getting
Poirier
tested
can take his punches, man.
Can he not, man? That's one thing about him. He's durable, so he's just like, where do I get my hands on you? You're not taking my punches, like, you know what I mean? And there's boys out there can, like Justin Gagey and Charles. I don't know if Charles will be able to, but Justin Gagey and all, no durable fighters, like, and Poirier definitely wouldn't be jumping to fight one of them boys again, like, you know what I mean? Big time.
Him and Charles will be a lethal fight though. I like Charles as a champion and all because of his story, but like Poirier.
See, after his last performance, man, like they say, you're only as good as your last performance. Fair enough, was a hard out champion shit. No, man, but he got his shit rocked in the first round, man. Like Michael Chandler shouldn't even let him out of that first round. He should let him stand back up, put him clean out, cash my bet on. That's why I'm raging, like, you know what I mean?
You had a bet on this weekend too, didn't you?
I did not, man. I fucking always have bets on, man. And you stop paying or come a gamble on that, like, big time. But hopefully, anyway, fucking Poirier smacks that Charles Oliveira boy, and that's it.
Makes sense for his story, like, you know what I mean? Like, he came up, like, he beat McGregor twice, and I'm saying that with, like, no, the finger, like, with quotation marks, like, but, like, fuck it, man. If it'd be lethal, and then McGregor, knowing him, I don't know, how long do you think he's going to be out, like?
I don't know, man. I'd say he'll be out, like, he's definitely out for like 6 months, like he'll be back in about 6 months walking and all, but then he won't be able to train properly for about.
Was that his what leg was it?
His good leg too, his left leg.
Was it his left leg?
That's the leg he springs off. They threw shots and all, man. So it's gonna be hard for him to come back, man.
I was just getting flashbacks, man, of the fucking.
It's gonna be like Anderson Silva come back. It'll be all timid, no, man.
Did you see his leg snap, or did you have to watch the replay?
I had to watch the replay. I thought he got clipped because you see when they. That's an iconic photo. I don't care what anybody says. See when they both went to exchange and they both missed their shots. Like you just see like the two punches just going past each other. You know what I mean? But then McGregor's ankle's like all stinky ankle. Then like, you know what I mean, mad, crazy.
Man. It was a bad snap.
It's mad to see him go out like that. I think that's the end of his career now. And that's just it, man.
I reckon he'll come back, and if he really wants to fight, he'll fucking have to fight Diaz or something. Because, like, who knows, man, where Poirier is going to be by that chance. Like, if he's a champion, McGregor's just going to come slap him, being, oh, I want this, I want that. No, give me the belt. And, like, but to me, like, he'll have to go for a Diaz fight or something, man. You know what I mean?
Diaz won't even take a fight, man. Diaz for up in Cloud 9 at the minute, man. He probably has that much up his own hole. He's probably, oh, fuck McGregor.
Fuck this clown.
I know, yeah, 209, bro. But fucking, man. It's good having you in here today. We wrap this bad boy up, man. I can
understand how JRE goes for like 3 hours now, man.
Stop now. Once you start talking, you can't. It's a wee bit rusty at the start, doesn't it, man? But then when you get going, then
like anything, man, you get into the flow. Hey, you're just like. Well, I look forward to coming back, man. Get some music analogy done. Hey, they see what's in store, man. Just
hopefully too we can get more people on too, man. Too Sunday, like we can get like fucking 3 or 4 people on too sometime.
Exactly. Upgrade the table, hey. Like, you know what I mean?
Man. Like, just get more of these mic stands, more mics, and that's me in. You know what I mean? Flying, man.
Literally. But thank you, man.
No, 100%. No, that's us, hey. But if anybody listened this far, anyway, thank you for listening, and I will see you after again.